In this box I have a Noblex Fusion. It is a unit that combines night vision and thermal, and it's the first of its kind. They are all going to come in these hard pelly cases. Let's open it up and have a look. You have your unit manual, your unit. So this is a pre-production model. The actual unit will be black. You have lamp attachments, in-car charger, home charger, and lines out. There are going to be a few differences between this and the production model. However, here's the specifications. The thing we really care about is the sensor size, and the sensor size on this is 384 by 288. So essentially it is identical to the Pulsar XQ38, which is the one that is the most popular handheld thermal unit in the UK. This unit is going to be £2,400, so it's a very similar price to the XQ38. I own an XQ38, so this really for me was about seeing whether it measured up. So I've had this for a week now. I've lent it to a couple of friends to take out and field test and garner opinions from a wide range of people. Before we get into what I and other people have thought of this, let me show you what it's capable of. All right, so we're currently on IR channel, which is thermal. If we flick to the next option here, wow, look at that. Alright, now we have the night vision channel. Now we can see Sasha in full night vision with a little bit of zoom behind him, lifting a camera above his head. This is the first Fusion, so let's try and readjust this a sec. There we go. So this is now a mixture of both channels. As you can see, Sasha is doing some serious ninja. Right, so what we can do here is we can adjust the brightness. Turn the brightness up and turn the brightness down. There we go, now we've spotted Sasha in the brightness. So obviously there is restrictions to having the IR on. When you've got blaring sunshine on something, it does flare up a little bit. However, obviously this sort of thing in the IR mode is much more useful at night. Now we mix over. You can zoom in on him if you like as well. So there you go, if you put the crosser over Sash, it will invert it and show you Sasha taking photos. Isn't he a handsome man? Alright, so now we're back in Fusion IR. Fusion Colour. I really like Fusion Colour. So when you zoom, obviously it goes into Fusion Focus, which allows you to focus in on stuff. Sorry, that's a new one on me. There's nothing obvious about it, as they say. So we come out of that, we go back into Fusion Colour. One of my favourite things about this is it is auto-focusing. And auto-focusing is really quite cool. You can press take a photo, and if you have an SD card in, I would take a photo of Sasha doing his impression of armpit scratcher or smelly armpit. Again, we can play with the brightness on any of these settings, which changes the image completely, as I'm sure you will agree. Next, we have IR colour. So now we are out of Fusion and just into thermal. So what we can see is a nice image of our thermal here. That's interesting. Every time you press zoom, it goes into Fusion Focus, so it will pick up heat and IR. That's very clever, so you can get target acquisition. Unfortunately, it's actually the brightness on the iPhone is getting very upset at this as well. So I must apologise that we're going to have to play brightness mode again. So we can turn the brightness up. There you go, and without confusing the iPhone, that's actually going to give you a much better idea of what's going on. That is in thermal mode. Sasha, by the way, is just shy of 100 yards away in 18-inch grass. So you can actually cut through some of that grass to see him. IR channel, Fusion Focus, get out of that, sorry. LLC, so there you go, we're now in night vision camera. Obviously in the day that's going to be very good, but you're going to want to stick a IR on the side if you want to get the most of this. So you have a couple of other bits on here that you might find useful, some of which we won't show you. First of which, you have compass, so you know which direction you're facing, which might help if you're completely lost. You have angle of elevation and the angle to which your machine is tilted to. So if we ramp it up, you'll see we go up, and if we ramp it down, you'll see it go down. And I really like that unit. That's really awesome. Now, just trying to figure out the range. The range thing on this thing, to be honest, is completely naff. That I'll give it. Fusion colour, look at that. Green colour image. And I must admit, that fusion colour is insane. One thing we noticed, at close range you can get parallax. parallax issues between the image. So if you're using this indoors or sort of within about 30 yards, you will get an issue between your parallax of the heat image and the IR image, the night vision image. However, you can go into the menu. If you're clever enough, read through the menu, you can actually adjust this. That's quite clever too. Man, this is a strong man, look at that. And finally, IR color will give you another thing. IR channel, LLC night vision, the Fusion IR, Fusion color, IR color, IR black and white. And as you can see, heat, tops of post sticking out. There you go. Obviously the IR in the daytime gets a lot of the sun bouncing off stuff, but as you can see, Sasha, clear as day there. Single tap and you're off, single tap and you're on. This thing does not sleep. It's pretty amazing. So when it does sleep, it takes a couple of seconds to turn on, and it's literally a couple of seconds. There's no warm up, there's no lag, there's been no refreshing. This unit is insane. So what are the reports on this from personal use and through others? Well, everybody said it is awesome, and that's always nice feedback, that no one could find any real issues through it. Because of the sort of people I hang out with, nobody read the manual, so everyone commented on how intuitive it was. Within 5 or 6 minutes you figured out what worked, what didn't, what you wanted, and which buttons to press to get it to do what you required it to do. Battery life was one of the things that everyone's commented on, and how good the battery life truly is. Like, actually really genuinely exceptional. You know, people have used it for 3 nights on the trot and not had to charge it, which is pretty good. The instant on and instant off, the quick tap, is brilliant. So if you want to see it, you don't have to wait. The lack of lag. One thing I dislike about my Pulsar is when you're scanning, you get to something and it goes, oh, quickly updating. And I know it's only a few seconds, but if something was glimpsing past, you needed to catch it in the thermal, it would have been nice to see it. So the lack of that's pretty awesome. This unit is not Bluetooth compatible, however the future unit will be. This unit does not do video, and the next unit probably won't do video either. So if you're looking to use this to video record, there's a bit of a downside. What it does have is a 16GB inbuilt SD card, so you can take like a couple of thousand photos without having to upload it to your computer, which is really handy. It's also nice that you can zoom in and take a photo, so you can get, if you're out at night, really detailed pictures. If you're doing a deer count of what bucks you've got around, what they look like, as opposed to just going, yeah, there's a deer, there's a deer, there's a deer. You can go, have a look, and go, oh yeah, that's Fusion, let's zoom in on that. Oh yeah, oh, he's a lovely buck. And actually there's a lot of benefit to being able to go between night vision and thermal in one single unit. Everyone commented actually of how handy it will be when this actually becomes a scope, because, you know, those times when you're on a target, you can actually have the two together. And it's not about using the thermal to spot as such, but it's about having the ability to see what's behind whilst using a thermal scope, which will be really good. However, as a spotter, it's also unbelievable. Every bit as good as the XP38, apart from at super long ranges. I noticed that about past the sort of 500 yard mark, it didn't quite, and I've had them side by side, quite have the same hint power. And I say hitting power because it's not really spotting at that range. Even with the XQ38, it's more, yes, you get a hint of something. Does that make any sense? You get a hint of heat and you go, oh, there's something there. However, what I found on this is that was completely made up for at close range. The penetration you have, for example, into grass and into cover that you might not have, certainly with the XQ38, this has. It's just nice to be able to go, yeah, that's heat, what is it? Click, oh, it's exactly that. Zoom in, oh, that's nice, let's go after that. Or click, 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 yeah, that's actually, oh, that's a large vixen, we're gonna wait for the cubs to come out, as opposed to heat signature. And I know you can tell just by heat signature on size and such, but all of that you can kind of throw away when you've got this. What I'd like to see is not the proprietary lamp holder, which is all right, don't get me wrong. What I'd really like to see is, sorry, let's put that on the correct way. What I'd like to see is a better lamp holding unit, although you can't have everything. Just having a weaver on the side would certainly make up for that. However, you get over it, it fits the Tracer 600, so that's all right. Having the thread, that's proved really nice. It's not something I'd usually use, however, for just sitting and spotting at longer range, it clips into one of those when you've got the base on really nicely. I also really like the flat bottom. It sits on trucks, it sits everywhere, it doesn't roll off. There's a lot of positives to it. I really can't wait to see what it looks like in black, even though I don't dislike the green. Guys, these should be landing in about a month to 6 weeks time, that being July. Go and check them out. If you're in the market for thermal, I really don't think you go wrong with one of these. It is game changing, it really is. I think the Pulsar is one of the best things that ever happened to, you know, deer management and fox control, because it was so good. The sensor size changed everything. However, this is the next stage. This is the future, and it's now. The only other downside I will mention is the screen is tiny, but that's what gives you the good battery life. So hence we filmed that bit on the iPhone, but it doesn't blind you. It's positives and negatives. I would trade battery life for the small screen, and that's just the way it is. If you want a big screen, stick your line in or Bluetooth it to your iPad, and you can have as big a screen as you like. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Take care, goodbye, and watch out for these landing in the shops.